Hello there, this is Charlie Chaz from CGM3 Productions, or just Chuck Martin. There we go. I think we're getting kind of with it, I think because of social media on there and telling you all the nicknames, and yeah, those are probably appropriate nicknames, but I'm very comfortable with Chuck and Charlie, obviously with DJ Charlie with the history over at the Villa Roma, and DJ Chaz, obviously. So, but as me, just being me, enjoying the time, very timely, well rested, and getting my couth together and my relaxing and whatnot. And then obviously, this is in between certain little things here and there. Obviously, we're getting the very nice weather right now, and with the sun, with the sun shining down and whatnot, and making sure you get that vitamin D in, which is great weather. I just had a very successful blood test today. Very stable. It's the numbers could be a little bit better, but we'll see. What time can see about that. And obviously, I got the blood booster shot. Obviously, so that kind of completes my bi-week appointments. Besides, doing little errands here and there. So raising the bar, it's a win, and knowing what I need to do this remainder of the week. And everything's in process and making sure everything's happening very well, and getting the outreach that I kind of need, in which I'm bringing up this very important thing now. As you may know, this is the 72nd entry, and we're looking at the 30th. We're looking at the 30th chemo. Gosh, 30th chemo next week. Imagine if I didn't have the chemo. Imagine, okay? Because recently, if you saw this in the headlines on network television, with in the science department, Consumer Reports are probably be having this with this here with the, Miss. I mean, there's going to be with the hindsight, and very hopeful of a pill that would work, for uh, really taking care of the cells that create the pancreatic cancer. Okay, folks, it's promising news. It's very, very finger crossed in one way or another. Um, I just wish that it was done sooner than later, or sooner right now. Sooner, I wish it was done sooner than what's happening right now. Because many wonderful individuals that have passed on, whether it's actors, actresses, singers, athletes, whatnot, and including me, and including which are still, I just can't believe this happened. In regards with, a friend of mine, and it's kind of, it's bittersweet. I obviously I knew of them in one way or another, and here I'm like, advising him, how am I handling this? How am I doing this? And this is like, again, about a couple months ago, like in, December, January, we found out that he too has pancreatic cancer, stage 2, stage 3. And keep this in mind, he was working down at 9/11. Okay. So we talked about it, a few things here and there. And, I told him where I've been going, I recommend that to him, and advice, or consulted him, and make sure you do the right, make sure it happened with the right thing. But they were starting off, they didn't see, they didn't like, so they went down to another, which is fine. And obviously, just recently he passed away, and my heart and my condolences go out to the family for this very trying situation. Now, getting back to what's happening in the medical world and medical news, that this pill is going to help, with the aggressing, with the aggressing part of the pancreatic cancer, whether it's going to do anything else. And my question, for the FDA, and even for, not only that, even for you know people who don't understand the situation. Now, keep this in mind: a metastatic stage 4 pancreatic cancer and liver cancer. Doctors tell me, my oncologist told me, one of the markers is very stable, which is wonderful, but still, it's a long, long way to go. Now, when they brought up about the, more tests about this new miracle pill, as I'll say it, but I am really, you know, as the words come out, I'm a cautious optimistic. I want to see this successful. I want to see where this is going to lead to. I want to see how it progressed to be in a better, mindset. I mean, sure, if anybody who is just starting out with um, the chemo sections and then say we're going to opt to trying this pill, go for it, with it. But right now, I'm at this, way of, thinking. It's like, so, okay, this is great, but is this going to be infecting with your stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3? What about stage 4? I mean, really, stage 4 and above, that's like kind of really out of it. So for me to look at the bigger picture, and unless we have this very, very much of a discussion about this, and I'm probably going to be talking about this to my niece and, my power of attorney, and a few other friends. It's like, what do you think? Because really, I mean, right now, I just did 29 rounds of chemo this past week. I'm going on my 30th round next week. I'm eating my appetite's very well. And sometimes it has its days, where you're absolutely drained and looking very tired. But when you raise the bar, and in which this, it's possible, it's, possibly hoping and being hopeful about it. So a little bit of faith, a little bit of hope. Maybe this is going to be happening. But then again, as a cautious optimistic, I'd rather be, doing my same regimen, going to the specialist, go and get my, in about a month or two, going to check my contrasting out with my abdomen and my chest, and then obviously with my EKG, with the heart, with everything else. So we're hoping that everything's going to come to matter. So in one way or another, I'm glad for the great news, yet it has to be FDA approved before we start jumping the gun on this thing. So in my case, let's see where this is all going to go. We're going to raise the bar. Hopefully this is going to be a win for future cases of pancreatic cancer and the studies with it. And, never giving up. There's always, you don't give up, you never give up on the study, and make sure it happens. Let them do their job. Let the doctors, advise and suggest, and then, we could, who knows. But at the same time, I'd rather be safe where, I've been doing this like within the last year. So we'll see. And again, it's what we generally make sure it's happened. And, fingers crossed. I posted these and shared on these news reports, which is absolutely, a trending trending news item. Yeah, I'd rather be safe than anything else. And hopefully, it comes true to somebody else. So we'll see. Otherwise, I thought I just want to let you know how I felt and where I stand on this situation. Um, Again, it's good. Yet we're still, they're still doing, trials with it. Let's hope for the better, maybe, and fingers crossed. So, otherwise, this is like really like a um, special update. What I seen and 72nd entry before my 30th round. So, all of you, all the, with the support, I thank you and I appreciate it very, very much from the bottom of my heart. And let's hope for the best. You know, otherwise, this is Charlie Chaz, wink, wink, from CGM3 Productions. And again, never give up. Don't ever give up. Raise the bar, and definitely it's a win. So until we meet next time, have a beautiful week. Enjoy. And by the way, wear plenty of sunscreen. Or sunscreen. Sorry, sunscreen. The SPF, because we're getting into that. Obviously the nicer weather. There's going to be possibility of skin cancer out there, but that's what my thing is too for my PSA. Wear plenty of sunscreen. Just saying. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Enjoy the nice weather, and I'll tell you about next week. Until then, see ya.